Good morning, friends. It's Natasha from the Cozy Cushion. I had a friend give me this mug not too long ago, and I just wanted to say thank you here in my video. I come here today because I need to disconnect, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that and share this coffee with you. And maybe you'll take a break from whatever it is you're doing and just kind of sit down and have a little listen. So for those of you that come frequently, thank you so much yet again for joining me on my YouTube channel to engage with me and most importantly, just to listen to what I have to say. For those of you that are just tuning in and may not know me, my name's Natasha. I'm the creator of the YouTube channel, The Cozy Cushion. I am an intuitive empath with psychic ability, but I'm also a coach, and I come here because I want to live my best life, and I also want to encourage you to also live your best life. So today I'm tuning in. My studio looks a little bit different. I'm going to start moving things around a little bit to create spaces throughout my house. And today isn't my best day. I wasn't really feeling like coming on. I didn't really feel like creating content. And I've dedicated myself to doing it anyway. And the reason I've dedicated myself to doing it anyway is because I'm trying my best to create a community here through my YouTube channel, as well as to create a sacred space where we can all do a little better in life. So as I create each of my videos, I kind of have a little bit of a storyline. So today I'm just going to really share some really personal stuff about my life and where my topic came up today. So my topic for today is disconnection and the stories we tell ourselves surrounding our life. And what I've noticed in my coaching in general, as well as within my friends and family, is that we all tell stories to ourselves. One of the stories that I tell myself is that my dream is very big and it's going to cost a lot of money, and I don't have that money. I don't have the revenue stream to create the Cozy Cushion, which at some point in time I hope is an actual physical space that my family company builds, and it gives me an opportunity to invite all the people that have been watching my YouTube channel and have been engaging in my life probably from birth. This dream has evolved over time, and every day I'm reminded, even especially on my bad days, which today is kind of one of them, is that it's important to have people in our life that build us up, that hear us out, that just genuinely care. They just genuinely care about you and where you're going in life. And I want to be that person for myself. And also my friends, my family, and the people I've yet to get to know. So that includes you as well. So last night I had a very interesting moment. My son and I went to a basketball game here in the Annapolis Valley. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada, and the Annapolis Valley is an absolutely beautiful drive, and I love the drive. So we drive to the basketball game, we arrive, and we play a fantastic game. I'm so proud of my son and his teammates and their ability to play the game of basketball. It's one of my favorite things to do. And we had a great time. And on the way home, me and my son were in a deep conversation, and we were having a really, really good, heartfelt chat about things, kind of lining up for us and kind of layering up, and how we can help ourselves with, I felt my son worked really hard during the game, and I felt he may have beat up his body a little bit during the game. He had kind of taken a fall on his ankle, and he's also kind of nurturing back. I wouldn't say it's a problem, but a space in his back that really needs some care. And if I remember correctly, we were kind of having just a deep conversation about how well the game went and how engaged he felt. And I was just so happy because he was also engaged with me in our conversation. And we were traveling on the highway, and I was really involved in the conversation as I was driving. And all of a sudden, just like that, I look up and there's a vehicle coming straight at us, and there's nowhere to go. And my first reaction was to look in the rearview mirror, and I seen lights directly behind me. So that means if I put on my brakes, now the roads were clear, and I'm so grateful. The roads were clear, and my reaction was to very slowly hit the brakes and move clearly off the road out of the way, as this oncoming car on our side of the road was just coming at us and the person behind us. And it happened in a split second. And it gave us literally time for me to calmly react, to move out of the way, gave this vehicle enough space. I'm not even sure if there was a passing lane. I'm not even sure if I had an opportunity to wrap my mind around why this vehicle was coming at us. And my son had basically an opportunity to say, what the hell? Like, it scared him. He was like, whoa, what would you do here? There was other, I believe in that time that, there was still traffic coming behind them as well. So he really put himself in a position, they put themselves in a position where they had nowhere to go, because traffic was coming this way as well as we were going that way, and this vehicle was coming directly in my line of traffic of where I was going. And within an instant, if my intuition wasn't so keyed in, and if I wasn't so calm in that moment, it could have went really differently, because I noticed immediately when I had to put my brakes on to get me safely out of the way, the vehicle behind me was not as prepared as I was. And thank goodness that they didn't hit me. Thank goodness that that oncoming vehicle did not hit us, because if it would have hit us head on, it would have been a catastrophic event. And I don't know how things went after that vehicle got through, because it was, getting later at night and we were on our way home. And I took note that the vehicle behind me was also unscathed. And so I just assumed they've got back to where they needed to be in the road, and we just continued on. So I've been kind of shaken up ever since then, because I was reminded very clearly once again how grateful I am that you're here with me, how grateful I am that I had an opportunity to wake up this morning with my son and for us to be completely okay and not injured or, anything like that. So sometimes ordinarily, 5 years ago, my thought process around that event would have been completely different. My reaction to that circumstance would have been completely different. So I'm just going to talk a little bit today about the stories we tell ourselves. And more lately, I've been focused on telling myself a very good story, no matter what is happening with me. And I give myself a lot of permission slips that are positive for myself and my roadmap of where I wish to go. So, as you know, hopefully, if this is your first time tuning in, you may not know completely of, all the details that I've shared with everybody. But my goal is to build my best life, to live my full time purpose, and really what that means to me on a personal level. I believe my purpose here on earth as Natasha Greeno is to share my stories in a way that helps everybody live a better life. So my goal is to help myself change, evolve, transform, and live a better life and reach my dream goals, as well as anybody that's following me to do the same within their life. So my life's not perfect and it's not bad either. I'm very, very fortunate. I have a roof over my head. I have lots of food to eat. My children are healthy, happy, and safe. I am healthy, happy, and safe. And the Cozy Cushion is created to be a healthy space where we talk about things that affect our ability at times in moving forward. And oftentimes, just what I've noticed or observed is that the stories we tell ourselves really don't do us justice in moving forward. So, for instance, I came home last night and I could have started telling the story, a dramatic story of, oh my God, we were almost killed on the highway. There was this car coming right at us and we had nowhere to go. And I didn't even feel that way this time. I felt as though I was calm, cool, and collected, so I was very proud of myself. I was also very aware and conscious and very deliberate in moving my vehicle, very controlled out of the way, and I didn't feel any importance of attaching a story to that event other than gratitude that it happened the way it did. It didn't happen sooner or later. It didn't affect or impact somebody behind me. And so last night I went to sleep feeling very grateful. Grateful for not only a great game that we played during our basketball game, as well as gratitude that I get to be here today to share this story. And there, honestly, this morning, it was really hard because I was starting to create stories in my mind of, I'm just not in a positive mood. I don't really have an uplifting story to share. I don't really have any ideas to bring to the channel today. But what I do have is me and my genuine desire to share my life with you. So I'm in a different room today. This is a new space I've created in my house, in my bedroom. Part of my sofa during Christmas, we had to move I decided to move our Christmas tree into a different place in our living room, and we have this great big sofa, and we had to take out a corner piece and put it somewhere else. And during that time, I was actually quite grumpy and really not friendly about it. We had some choices. We could put it outside in a storage area that we have, or we could bring it up here, which at the time was cluttered. And I was trying my best to get it cleared out because I wanted a really nice sacred space for the holidays. Off to the side here, you can't see, but I will show you before we go today, is I have a artificial Christmas tree with some of my favorite ornaments on it and some really pretty lights, because I needed a space of when I was scattered like today and not feeling content. I'm feeling really restless. I've been making some attempts at changing some habits in my life that are not so healthy for me. And it's not going well. And I'm not enjoying the process right now. And it's made it difficult, as well as when we're making life changes, life's also happening at the same time. So sometimes it's really hard to pull it all together. And so, just going back to the stories we tell ourselves, today I'm telling myself a story of I am safe, I am happy, I am grateful, and I get this opportunity to share my new sacred space of the corner section of my sofa, which I've really found a beautiful place to sit and practice my breath work, which I've shared with you guys a little bit. And I've been really practicing that and quieting my mind and tuning into myself and my body, which is really, really important. So that's kind of what I'm doing today is I'm disconnecting from my workspace down in my office where of course I'm working on taxes and getting all those things lined up from the year's end and coming into our new year. I'm also not enjoying that process. I've also done videos in my barn, which I absolutely love. And I I'm also in kind of a not even a joyous state to enjoy my barn, which is very unusual. Usually that's my go-to place to kind of calm down, reconnect with nature, and really tune into my body. And so I knew last week when I came to do my Ruby Tuesday video this week that I would bring you to this place. And I knew I would have a coffee, and my dear friend that gave me this mug, it really brought joy to me. And this mug, I'm a coffee fanatic. So this mug just says, Dog Mother, Coffee Lover. And it just kind of confirms what's most important to me, is my true genuine self and who I am as a person. And today I'm just going to nurture that in all its imperfections. And I'm going to follow through with imperfect action. Is this going to be the best video I've ever done? I don't know. We can only see, at the end of the day. And I was just reminded that sometimes sitting and not saying much at all, changing our surroundings and our environment to nurture us instead of rob us of joy and bring us comfort is very important. So I guess the video that I'm trying to create here is one of being cozy with where we're at in the present moment, because life is very imperfect. It's always changing. If we're always waiting to feel good about something or to feel ready to do something, I personally find in my life that it just never happens. And then we start creating excuses and reasons, like I don't have enough money or resources to build this physical building of the cozy cushion, and it just kind of snuffs out my dream. And I'm not going to do that at all this year. It's just not a part of the plan. My plan that I've created for 2024 is to be in consistent, imperfect action, commitment to Ruby Tuesday, and showing up for my audience, which is you guys. So thank you for staying this long. We're 19 minutes in, and I don't know how helpful this video is other than a recognition that, we're not perfect beings here. We're not living in a perfect world, and it's okay. It's completely okay. So what I've done for myself today is I've changed my story. This morning I received an email from somebody on a project I've been working very, very hard on, which has to do with my own property and some drainage. We've had a lot of water this year, and some problems with, you know, ditching and water in the basement, so on and so forth. And I received an email this morning. I woke up very optimistic. I had some really great ideas of what I was going to talk about today. And I have some habits that I've kind of put in place to keep me on track every day of the week. So Tuesday is, of course, Ruby Tuesday. So the first thing on my calendar was content creation and follow up emails, because I also have to be present in my real regular life of being a mom, a homeowner, a business owner, and so on and so forth. So at the top of the list was review emails. So when I went in to review my emails, the first email was basically I've been going through some home renovations in a program that we have here in Nova Scotia, and it was the email. It took a long time to receive. It was actually been processed for about 6 months, and so after all the process, it had to do with rebate from a heat pump. And basically, it took 6 months to process. There was no guarantees with this, but basically, they were just like, hey, Natasha Greeno, all your improvements that you've done in your home are great, but unfortunately, your project isn't eligible for any rebates. The good news is I wasn't counting on any rebates. The bad news is I really felt a punch to the guts. I was like, I really was invested in this program. I felt like it was going well. And I really felt that even though I knew I wasn't necessarily eligible for rebates, I really thought that maybe at the end of the day that some rebates would be available. And the email just stated that no, there wasn't. So immediately it just put me in a bad space really quick. And I was like, okay, well, we need to change the dynamics of my thoughts here. So let's go to the barn. I go out to the barn, which is usually my peaceful place. I go out there to gather my eggs. And one thing I noticed is egg production goes down in the winter anyway. So there was 3 or 4 eggs there, and one of them had got broken again. And I was like, oh, bummer, you know. But I started telling myself immediate stories, anxieties and worries of not being good enough. That email, which had nothing to do with my personality or who I am or my life in general, it didn't really change or affect anything at all. All it did was put me in a bad mental space and kind of a little bit of a bad mood. So I went out into my barn to change the trajectory of what was happening within myself, and it didn't work the way it usually does. So I moved forward. I came back inside. There was some stuff I needed to do in my kitchen, so I did that and took some notes on things that are important to do today, because I believe no matter what we're going through in life, it's really important to stay engaged as much as we can and give ourselves breaks as well. So today has been a lot of giving myself breaks. So I came back in from the barn and another email had come in, and it was another email from the same situation. It's connected to, my house and being a homeowner and some drainage problems. I've had some water come into my basement, and I've got a sub pump. So everything's going well. There's absolutely nothing wrong. I get another email from a different place that basically says, Miss Greeno, our investigation into your drainage issues, which are bringing water into your basement, are really not our problem. So therefore, it's definitely not going anywhere, which is another issue I've been working on for over a year. And I knew that. And I knew the email was coming from a person that didn't care. Most importantly, I know this. I know the person that sent that email doesn't care. They've never taken an opportunity to sit down with me, look at my issue with their eyes visually, or even hear the issue. They just respond according to very little information they receive. And once again, it spiraled me into this natural state of starting a negative story about how outside things are starting to impact my behavior on the inside, which I had to stop, and that's what my breath work has really done for me, is taking a moment and acknowledging my thoughts and my feelings and the where they're going. Where are these thoughts going? And at that point this morning, they were going in a direction that certainly wasn't leading up to content creation. They weren't leading up to my hopes and my dreams, and they certainly weren't making me feel happy or content in my life, which is my goal, And so I gave myself a deadline. You can I'll give you permission, Natasha, to go through all this stuff, even though you know the difference, until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. At that point, you're going to have to prepare yourself to create content, which I'm doing, regardless of anything, and show up, because that's what I promised myself. So I didn't change my clothes. I didn't have a shower. I didn't get pretty. I put on my new favorite robe, which was a gift that I received for Christmas, and it's very cozy and warm, and it does feel like a hug. I come upstairs to my new space, which I knew I wanted to share with you guys. So if I didn't have any insightful information to offer, I knew that I wanted you to see this little space that I've created. My hope was to make it a little prettier and more cozy. But I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling pretty, and I wasn't feeling cozy, and I was starting to feel a little out of sorts. So I knew that I would be happier, more content if I just came on. I did a video. I love fireplaces. So I put on the fireplace on the TV up above, and I tuned in to engage with you. And so, friends, I guess my message here today is really pay attention to the stories you tell yourself about your past life, about your past experiences, about your trauma. So many people are trying to pursue their dreams with yeah buts and this idea that they failed in other aspects of their life, and it's broken them or it's changed them and it's made them it's kind of kept them stuck, and people bring up grief a lot, and I've gone through, and I'm still going through some grief, of course. My friend Ruby, which I've lost, she passed away around shortly thereafter, the same time I lost my mom. So I kind of lost my mother due to cancer in 2021, and shortly thereafter I lost my best friend Ruby. And Ruby is a fan. She is the reason I started dreaming about the cozy cushion in the first place, and she's very pivotal person in my life, and the main reason I do the cozy cushion, is because she was always cheering me on, and I can hear her in my heart, and I can hear her presence, and the grief of that sometimes pushes me into inactivity. And I'm a very positive, optimistic person as a whole, but I delay things because I want to be ready. I want to be prepared. And what I've realized last night traveling on the highway, in that split second that could have changed my life, is that I am prepared. I am ready. I am enough. And this is all I need. This little studio where I create a YouTube video to ask my friends to come in and reflect on their life transformations. None of us are who we were yesterday. None of us are those relationships that have changed us over time. Most of us, have had relationships and situations that have really deeply changed who we are. And it's really up to us to be responsible for the new stories we tell ourselves, you know. And I want to encourage you to write your best story now. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. And I really want to live my best life as I am. It's important to me that I am genuine to my own journey. It's important to me that I am present for my raising my son and meeting with my grandchildren and hearing them out and playing with them and enjoying the time with my dad, while he's here as well. So one of the things I did before I started this video is, I called my dad and left a message, letting him know that there's a game tonight, and connecting to the people that mean most to me. So friends, we're all on this planet together. We're all on planet Earth. So it doesn't matter if you're from the United States. It doesn't matter where you're from. You can be from absolutely anywhere. We're all going through life stuff. We're all transforming. We're all trying to figure it out. And I want you to take the pressure off yourself. I want you to reduce the pressure of whatever it is that's on your shoulders to find perfection in your next best move, because life isn't perfect. It's not guaranteed. And it's also very great, we all should find a sense of gratitude for how far we've come and where we're at right now. And I know there's so many people suffering. We have friends that are suffering. I have friends that are suffering. I have, so many ideas of how I can help our world. But the reality of it is I need to be present for myself in my own life. And I need to share the truth of my story and where it's going. And I really want to be an encourager. I want to encourage people to relax a bit, to disconnect when they need to disconnect, and to reconnect to what matters most to them. So for me today, I realized I needed to disconnect from my story that life's hard, that there's obstacles, that I'm going to have to put more effort into these things that I really felt like should have been dealt with by now. I needed to get some earth in my life. So I replanted my little plant. I shared that in my story on my Instagram. And I showed up. I just showed up as I am, you know. So I've got laundry in downstairs, you know. I'm here in my bathrobe, having my coffee, with my fireplace on, sharing my day with you friends, and that's enough. It's enough. It's okay. And so, just a message to all of you that might be sitting here that have made it to this 35-minute mark with me and you're not feeling okay. Just know that it's okay to be not okay. It sometimes we have to take responsibility for our own cozy, you know, because I hear people say things that would be like, if I could just find the right person, or if I could fall in love, or if I could just have somebody else in my life respond and react in a certain way, you know, life would be better. That's all true. I get that. But I also know within my own life that my life gets better, and it's okay when I take responsibility for it in every aspect. So whatever that, you know, for me, you know, I have to disconnect from technology. I understand right now I'm doing a creative video to put on my YouTube channel because I'm dedicated to Ruby Tuesday and showing up for you guys no matter how I am. I'm talking about topics that are most important to me, and I'm just engaging in the only way I know how to right now, and that's to be just genuinely Tasha, you know. And life's not always easy for any of us, you know. And what I find helps me every day, no matter what's going on, is gratitude. So I have a gratitude journal downstairs that I haven't written in yet because I wasn't feeling grateful when I came up to do this video. Actually, I just wasn't. But I do feel grateful now. I feel heard. I feel loved. I feel better that I've kind of talked about things out loud on my channel, public, you know, for the world to see. And I now know that disconnecting from what was not working, what was not working was the story that I was starting to tell myself, and it was really propelling in a very unusual place, you know, uh, right from the feeling of that vehicle coming towards us late at night. I had gratitude the roads were not bad, you know, so I did have grateful, you know, I was grateful then, and then to get up this morning, and I was just disappointed, honestly, friends. I was just disappointed. I was disappointed that I didn't feel optimistic to do my Ruby Tuesday video. I was feeling disappointed I wasn't in a creative mood. I was disappointed that an egg got broke in my coop. I was disappointed. I looked out and I seen my heat pump look like it was freezing up, but it's still working. One of those emails was also about a repaid about my heat pump. So I was starting to create all these inconvenient, self-defeating stories that were not going to uplift me to bring creativity and love to my own world. And so I just stopped right there. So I guess that's the moral of the story, is when you're starting to spiral, whether it's into your depression, whether it's into your grief, whether it's into the negative story of your past relationships being narcissistic and it's kind of ruined how you love people today. I feel that. I've had some relationships in my past that have been really less than desirable, that have really, really led me to having worthiness issues. Am I worthy of creating the cozy cushion? Well, yeah, totally. Just like you're worthy of having a cozy space that you can create all on your own. So, my challenge for you today is to protect your peace inside yourself and your thoughts. Thoughts become things. So, if we're having bad thoughts, like I was this morning, I was probably going to continue on that spiral a great percentage of the day. And I wanted to transform that story into a more of what my reality. I'm in my house, I'm safe from the weather and the elements. I have my fireplace on behind me, which is peaceful. I've brought a little more joy and light to my life. I brought my mug that is new, that's been a gift from a dear friend. My favorite beverage is inside of it, which is my coffee. And I'm just taking a break to be content as things are in all life's imperfections. And I encourage you to do the same, friends. Is no matter where you are, what you're dealing with in life, trust your process. Bring your thoughts back to your dreams and your highest good, not what breaks you down and makes you weak and angry. You have complete control over that every single time, whether you like it or not. Which I didn't like it. I'm honestly still not completely thrilled, and I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to change the trajectory of that. I'm going to enjoy this coffee after I leave you here in a few moments, because I am going to say goodbye. And I'm going to go steal my son's cookbook, and I'm going to leaf through it and see if there's a recipe in there that I can cook for my family tonight. I'm not a great cook, by the way. And meal preparation comes very hard to me. It's not something that comes natural to me. If I were to make millions of dollars, I'm the type of person that would get a chef, because it's actually that difficult for me to meal plan and prep. And today I think that's going to bring me some contentment. Once again, imperfect action to something that's meaningful to me. My son's getting older, and he's going to be leaving the nest at some point. And it's important to me to take good care of him while he's here. And I know there's some other moms and dads that might be listening to this video that have been struggling with teenagers or work and, work-life balance and family balance. And we can only do what's in the moment and staying present. And what's present for me here today is an opportunity that I get to cook supper for my family. Because had things gone different last night, I might not be here today. So friends, for that, I am so grateful. I'm also grateful that you joined me for this video. And I just want to leave you with a few affirmations that you are beautiful. You are strong. You are capable. You are loved. You have the ability to transform your own life. And honestly, the only person that can create your best life is you. For you. So at the end of the day, everything I discussed in this video is completely irrelevant. What is relevant is your belief in yourself. And I'm here doing this video, because from the bottom of my heart and from my genuine, heartfelt self, I believe in you 100%. And I believe together, not only can we transform our lives for the best, that we can live our full-time purpose and achieve our dreams. So enjoy the rest of your day, friends. Go easy on yourself. Love with an open heart. Say what's on your mind. Don't live in fear. And go for it. Let go of the shit and go for what's most meaningful to you. And for me, that's my community and my engagement here on YouTube for the Cozy channel, the Cozy Cushion channel. So, with any luck, I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to leave any comments. I love reading what you have to say and responding. I do this video to engage with you. If anything I had to say was of any value to you, please let me know. I would just like to know. And most importantly, be who you truly are. It's a gift that you can give yourself. And that's how I'm spending the rest of my day. Take care, folks. You're loved by me.